Okay, just a real quick editorial on something that goes back to one that I did in 26. One of the first editorials I did for this magazine in 2016. Media rights versus responsibilities. Now, recently I attended and covered the unveiling of the body cameras for the Allentown, Pennsylvania Police Department. Great event. That's actually going to be another article. Just a couple of quick notes on that one. Nothing negative, just different article. But anyway, as far as media rights, yes, okay, right off, it's our job to cover events. It's our job to cover press conferences, things like the unveiling of the body cameras, etc. But at that event, and please check the article and check the video and photos for actual proof of this, where you had residents and even students, I'm not sure, young adults, I'm not sure from which school or organization they were from, that were attending this event and sitting in the chairs, in the chairs in city council chambers. Now, you had 4 members of the media that I realized that two, possibly 3 of them, they were just, they were 2 of them were cameramen working, and they were doing what they were told, and they know their job, and they do it very well. But you also had what, I'm not sure what group or organization it was from, but anyway, there were 4 members of the media that were literally surrounding the podium where different members of the police department and the mayor were speaking. Now, this is great. Otherwise, you have to get the close-ups and everything. But on the flip side of this, and where it comes to media rights versus responsibility, is those 4 members of the media effectively blocked off the view from anyone sitting in the council chambers. And the reason why this goes to an extent back to the editorial is, I do the video with an LG K20 phone, 13 megapixel camera, HD video. Now, 2 of the members of the media, one was with the network, and you can tell, I'm not going to go into details, but anyway, you could easily have gotten close-ups by either being halfway back or being in the close-ups you need, or being in the back, standing in the back, or sitting in the back row. But instead, they were positioned in a semicircle around, including one of the members who was taking an obscene amount of photographs, literally, and decided to put his tripod right to further block the view, even though the tripod wasn't even being used. And I actually looked around, and at times I saw 1 or 2 residents of Allentown and people that were there, moving their heads around, trying to get a view of whoever was speaking, was police chief, mayor, etc. So, this is just one where, honestly, as a member of the media, this really, and as a resident of Allentown, this really irritated me, because the members of the media that were in this semicircle did not take into account and had no regard for the people that were attending this event, who it was also directly affecting. Like I said, they could have very easily have stood in the back. The one taking photos, he was moving around a lot, but he could have placed his tripod off to the side or in the back easily. I mean, there was enough cops there, nothing would have happened to it. If anything would have, man, that person would have been obscenely stupid. But anyway, so in my opinion, the media right there abused their power, and right there abused their right, and they completely ignored their responsibility to the people who may have been, later been viewing the presentation, and even the same people there, by having complete disregard and actual disrespect for the residents of Allentown, especially the young adults who came in a little later, and showed absolutely no respect for the residents to give them a clear view, especially when the body camera was presented at the podium. I mean, it was very difficult. If you were not sitting right along the center aisle, you would have had a very extremely restricted view of what was going on. The 2 members with the one with the network and one with a local news media, they had the cameras, but they could have very easily stood in the back, said, gotten their close-ups, etc., or moved around like the person doing the photographs. You know, it was just, it really honestly irritated me, borderline pissed me off, how the complete lack of consideration and lack of respect for the people attending that event whose everyday lives this would be affecting. Again, I have to stress, as a member of the media, we have a responsibility to present the facts. We have a responsibility to cover events, whether it's a local band, whether it's a presidential campaign, whether it's the President of the United States, whether it's an international events. It's our job and our responsibility to cover these things and present the facts. If we feel very strongly about something like this article right here, we do an editorial, or it's also called an opinion column. But when it comes to things like that, where you have something that directly affects people's lives in one aspect or another, we have a responsibility to show respect and consideration for the people attending these events and say, you know what, we have to step back. Yes, I know we have a job to do, but we can figure out a way to still do that job and still show consideration and respect for other people. These people had a right to have a clear view of the podium, in my opinion, emphasizing my opinion. These people had every right to have a clear view of that podium and to see exactly what was being said, the expression on the speakers' faces, etc. But that view was almost completely blocked by the media. So, you know, I always try to take the stance of trying to make you feel like you're there, and I always sit in the back anyway. Just natural habit for me now. But, you know, just something to look at the next time you attend an event as to where the media is. I'm actually going to be contacting a member of City Council and the mayor and seeing if maybe that there's a possibility that an ordinance could, or, you know, some form of addition could be passed. Now, when there are events in council chambers, or even events in general, you know, that might be outside of City Hall, you know, or events in, you know, like that, of that nature in general, that the media must cannot obstruct the view of people attending, or that the media has to be either on the sides or in the back. I know it sounds trivial and stupid, but like I said, these residents and the people attending, especially the young adults who were, you know, this was a great learning experience for them. You know, they had every right to have a clear, unobstructed view of what was going on, of the people speaking, and of what was being said. So, just something to think about the next time you attend an event, especially one where government's involved. So, another gorgeous day here in Lehigh Valley, in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Past the halfway point of October already. The year's getting short. Please, to everyone, thank you so much to the sponsors, especially the financial ones. Check out the thanks to the sponsors page on the website. Please support these people and businesses. Without them, Surrealville City and Valley and beyond would still only be a dream, if that. And to everybody out there, Sports Magazine, with the page views and every otherwise, thank you so much, because without you, I know I say this every time, but I mean it, there'd be no point to doing this. Enjoy the changing of the seasons, but remember, we get one chance every moment in life, people. Make it count.